As we close out 2024, I'm excited to share the latest sales numbers for the final quarter of the year here in the community of Trilogy at Glen Ivy. But that's not all. I'll also show you how these numbers compare to the beginning of the year so you can see exactly how the housing market did in 2024. Hi, my name is Casey, and if you're new here, I share information about the local housing market here in Corona, and I highlight the 55 and older communities of Trilogy at Glen Ivy and the community of Terramore. So if you find this kind of information helpful, I'd love if you'd hit the like and the subscribe buttons down below. Okay, so let's get started. Now today I'm going to share the most recent sales numbers for the community of Trilogy at Glen Ivy, and these numbers will include the homes that were sold between October 1st and December 31st of 2024. And let's start off with the average sales price. And the average sales price of a home in Trilogy was $691,000. And prices ranged from a low of $560,000 all the way up to a high of $882,000. And this is very similar to what we saw in the third quarter when the average sales price was $678,000. Next, I want to share the home that sold for the highest price. And it was located at 24677 Glen Eagles Drive. And this was a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home with 2,153 square feet of living space. The home had a 3-car garage and was located directly on the golf course. And the interior was nicely upgraded with wood floors, granite countertops, and recessed lighting. And this was the highest priced home sold during the fourth quarter at $882,000. Next, let's take a look at the total number of homes that were sold. And during the fourth quarter, there were a total of 14 homes sold here in Trilogy. And this is down from the third quarter when we had 25 homes sold. Next, let's take a look at the average days on market. And during the fourth quarter, the average number of days it took to sell a home was 63 days. And this is longer than what we saw in the third quarter when it was taking 41 days to sell a home. And finally, let's take a look at how many homes are currently for sale. And right now, there are a total of 13 homes for sale in Trilogy. And this is almost exactly the same as the third quarter when we had 14 homes for sale. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how did the housing market do this year? Well, the best way to find out is to go back and look at the numbers from the beginning of the year. Then we can compare these numbers with the numbers from the final quarter. This way, we can see if prices went up, if they went down, or if they stayed the same. So let's take a look and find out. Now, back in January of this year, the average sales price was $718,000. As we finished up this year, the average sales price was $691,000. So that means that during 2024, the average sales price dropped 3.7%. And given all the problems we faced this past year, a drop of 3.7% isn't really that bad. And if you look at the number of homes that were sold, we started off 2024 with 14 homes sold. And as we closed out the year, the number of homes was exactly the same. And this tells us that home sales in Trilogy remain very consistent and stable throughout 2024. But one area where we did see a big change was in the number of days it took to sell a home. And back in January, it was taking just 12 days to sell a home in Trilogy. But if you look at the numbers at the end of the year, this number had jumped to 63 days. And that's an increase of 425%, which is a huge increase. But we did have a lot of things impacting the housing market. Interest rates went up, inflation was a big concern, and the election in November did seem to distract a lot of people. So hopefully we'll see this number come back down as we move into 2025. And finally, let's look at the number of homes for sale. And back in January, we had 16 homes listed for sale. As we finished up 2024, this number had dropped to 14 homes for sale. So this isn't a big concern because the inventory of homes for sale always fluctuates, and this slight drop is fairly common. So what does this all mean? Well, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Trilogy at Glen Ivy, these trends will give you a clear picture of how the market is actually doing. So whether you're considering selling your home or if you're thinking about moving into Trilogy, understanding these numbers can help you make an informed decision. And if you have any questions about the community of Trilogy at Glen Ivy or the real estate market in general, just reach out and let me know. You can give me a call at the number up on the screen or simply leave a message down below and I'll get back to you right away.